Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Magnus Soraka. I felt we needed to reason. The drama at Chicago State University is becoming very, very interesting. In fact, since the history of elections in Nigeria, this has been the biggest political soap opera that Nigerians have ever been gifted with. As a matter of fact, one could pay any fee to watch how this thing will end. It's a good thing. Before I delve down the topic, perhaps I'd like to say this, that even though I've already known, that when you think you've mastered the art of criminality, there is always an end. There's always an end. I think is it the Bible that says there's always an end for the wicked. History has had it. Hitler, Idi Amin, a lot of all the dictators, they finally came to their end. And in most cases, they are humiliated at the end. I think this one is not going to be any different. Before again I go into this topic, I like to also say the most intriguing part of this whole Chicago brouhaha is the fact that you still have some tribal bigots that are still brave to come on my thread to maybe create some mockery or some sort of jocularity, telling me that Peter Obi will never become president. Tinubu will rule for 8 years. It goes to show how very shallow and unstretched their psychology is to the issues on ground. They still think this is about us getting Peter Obi to be president. I don't care if Peter Obi is president. I don't care if Tinubu is president. I don't care if Atiku is president. So long as Nigeria gets away from this doldrum that we are sinking in every day, that is virtually becoming so abysmal, we must get out of this. And we cannot get out of this with all these treacherous lies, deception and propaganda that Tinubu and his cohorts and bandwagon of criminals have decided to sell to us. Now, can you just imagine that every day you wake up, they said Tinubu is working. Tinubu is working. $1 is the equivalent of 1,000 Nigerian naira. People who could easily make their whole transportation by keeping 1,000 naira will maybe have to keep 3 times or 4 times that amount to make the same journey. So it's very, very bad. In any case, let's go to our topic for today. Imagine Chicago State University. OT praise, my brother, stop him. Peter Obi must be president too. If Peter Obi is not president, then the message is clear. Then it is true they are saying that an Igbo man cannot be president, and I don't want that. I don't want that to be ingrained. I don't want that notion to be ingrained. If Peter Obi is not president, that means those who think they own Nigeria will be emboldened. They will be emboldened the more to repeat this thing they've done. They'll be emboldened the more to do it again. The next election will be so useless because, for one, I know that the next election, people from the southeast will not come to vote. A lot of people from the south of the part of the country will also not come to vote. Majority of middle belters too will not come to vote. I guess election will only take place from the regions of those people that believe they own the country. And that is not a precedence, I think, or a legacy we should leave for the future of this country. Now let's still talk about the topic, because I wanted people to I wanted to see more people before I get into the topic. So, imagine if Chicago State University were to be in Nigeria. What do you think would have been the outcome? Now, I've been watching the proceedings of this judiciary, of the judicial system in America. That is the beauty of watching things happen in a well-developed country. That is the beauty of watching things happen in a country where things work. Even from the pronouncement of the judgment, you could see the argument. Tinubu's lawyers are arguing that first it was, if you release the certificate, it will be infringing on his privacy. And you think that line will just... These are people who are operating the independence of the judiciary. No amount of money can buy any judge there. Even Elon Musk cannot bribe the poorest judge in the US. That is where a system works. That is where a system works. So you think the way you people make a caricature, the way they make a caricature out of our judiciary, how you make a monkey out of our judiciary, you're going to take the same system and mentality to America and tell some very hocus pocus story that they should. It's funny. If at this point you are a Nigerian and you're not ashamed with what is going on abroad, over there in America, then something must be terribly wrong with you. Now, first it was, if they release the certificate, it's going to be an infringement on his privacy. You cannot relate your status as being a private figure while occupying a public office. Nigeria, Asu Rock, should have been the biggest and most hardest and most sanctified position that anybody would seek to occupy. Imagine if it was just a mere bank manager or a director in NNPC or Mobil or ExxonMobil or Total. What would be the criteria to have that person employed? In those days when we were looking for employment, when we buy newspaper, you will see that candidate must have at least a second class upper in any reputable Nigerian university, must have at least a 12 years experience, must have this, must have that. There are criteria that they put for you to attain before you become the manager. Now, the president and the seat of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be more, dignified, both intellectually and morally and socially, before somebody emerges. If at the end, the criteria that we give for the number one seat of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can be maneuvered by people with questionable character, it means we need to come back and begin to rediscuss how we came to this point. Imagine a candidate who comes to tell you that election is not served a la carte. You have to grab it, you have to snatch it, and you have to run away with it. And indeed, such a person with a philosophy like that is now the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And some people are proud of it. This morning I made the video, and in it I said, we have gradually come to a place where it's almost like the more criminal you are, the more qualified you are to be engaged in the politics of Nigeria. We are gradually translating criminality to be the way of our Nigerian politics. There's this Yoruba guy in my class who will always say that, in my club, who say that everybody rig. Now who rig pass, now they be president. It goes to show how much we are beginning to translate the workings of criminalities to be the way of politics. That's not true. Even if they say politics is a dirty game, it doesn't mean that it's a process or an opportunity for criminals to come and ply their nefarious characters and activities in order to get our presidency by snatching, grabbing, and running away with it. That's not true. So if Chicago State University were to be in Nigeria, of course, Tinubu would have bought all the judges. They would have delivered one very stupid thing that, because Tinubu would just tell them what they should say. Because clearly what those judges read at the tribunal was what was written to them. So Tinubu would have simply had, told them that they should say that Tinubu is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he's entitled to immunity, and his privacy is enshrined in the Constitution according to section this, section lies, section this, and then they let him go. So I like the fact that they ruled that the documents should be released, and it should be released within 48 hours, and such documents and other depositions should be given under oath. And you know what it means? It is not like in Nigeria where somebody goes swear, yet to not amount to anything. In America, once you are making a deposition and it is under oath, because tomorrow if it is caught that you lied, it's going to taint your image. In fact, you'll be jailed. So, of course, Tinubu's team, they've already seen where the pendulum is where the pendulum is swinging. He already knows. That's why I said, okay, they should release his certificate, but not the gender. Whereas it is the gender that made us go to CSU in the first place. It is the gender and the documents. Why we want the credentials? Because from the credentials, we will know whether it's a female or a male that actually attended Chicago State University. Then from the gender, we know whether you actually had a first class. From the document, we know whether you actually had a first class. Then from the document, we also know your age and other things that you see, a lie can only last for as long. Truth will eventually catch up with it. What suffocates a lie is that you have to tell many more lies to sustain that lie. No one single lie stays on its own, or lasts long on its own. You have to, but the truth is the truth. If I say I attended the University of Maiduguri, and if it's the truth, I don't need to go defending it. If I hear people saying that, I the suspect say Magnus a lie, I the suspect say Magnus not attend University of Maiduguri, I will now be, inundated with a need to convince these people that I actually attended University of Maiduguri. But because it's a lie, and I forgot what I said yesterday, because those who tell lies cannot keep track of everything they say. But those who tell the truth can keep track of everything they say, because it's the truth. It's there, it's verifiable, you can refer to it. So you don't need any stress to tell the truth. But you definitely need, you also don't need stress to tell a lie. Where the stress comes in is that you have to invent more lies to sustain one lie. But you don't have to invent any truth to sustain a truth. So it's just so unfortunate. It's just so unfortunate that if not for the events that are unfolding now, it's a good thing. We should be thanking God that the American. This is the first time we have a tribunal that we are involving another court jurisdiction from outside the country, and guess what? From America as a whole. Don't forget that you see in America they do their politics, whether it's dirty or clean, but the judiciary there is very, very independent. The judiciary in America is very, very independent. So they are not like this Justice Amani that you see them telling blatant lies, striking out evidence provided by petitioners and delivering judgment as if you are delivering judgment, as if you have a stake in the judgment. No sense of impartiality, no sense of being in the middle. It's almost like you are angry that the petition was brought to you in the first place. So to me, I honestly think that events that have unfolded are precipitates to what will fix this country. So for those who are calling me saying that, like the guy I was speaking to yesterday, that the difference between me and him is that I believe in Nigeria. For goodness sake, I can't say because my son is sick, I should just give up on him because he's sick. I must find a way to treat him. I must do something to heal him. Until the doctor pronounces that my son is dead, God forbid, then I know there is no hope. But so long as Nigeria is alive and we know where the problem is, that the problem is the problem of leadership, why should we give up on it? I can't do that. I can't do that. So let this be a lesson, especially to the judiciary, how a judge is supposed to think, how a judge is supposed to talk. Even from the way the judge is talking, you could see that he is considering both parties. Because the judge said this week he will deliver his judgment between now and weekend. So if you notice, no Agbadorian is, if today they catch Peter Obi with a questionable judicial implication, I can tell you that we Obedience will be the first to say, Peter Obi, you fuck up. So I think to the likes of Tinubu, politics, in his mind, politics is dirty. So it's only like just like politics is a dirty game. So only the dirty ones among us can play it. So to him, it's a game. It's a game. And the Wike, I'm so shocked that Wike has the same Wike who some time ago was telling us that pretending to be against Tinubu. Say, how can you say you want to start from where Buhari stopped? May God never happen. May God never let it happen. And to some extent, we fell for it. If we fold our arms and allow this charade come to stay, we have destroyed our judiciary, we have destroyed our, of course, our legislature is already destroyed. It has since been destroyed many, many years ago. The judiciary too have been destroyed, but there and there, pockets of them are given. Let me tell you these people. You remember the same woman who said they are trying to bribe him in her. The same woman who said they are trying to bribe her in Kano. It's the same woman that gave the judgment that is causing riot in Kano. So these people, they think that they are experts of propaganda. That's why you see, when you see this Justice Areola saying that you should not do this thing, we are going to, they just give you the impression that they are going to deliver what's good. Eventually they see the rubbish they think they can. So when you see someone like Wike saying that he has revoked land belonging to Peter Obi, you get me? Thank God Peter Obi is a step ahead. He came and said that, well, actually, yes, the land was given to him by the current governor of Bauchi State. And he told him that he's not interested in land. So it's a terrible situation. It's a terrible situation. That's a terrible situation. And for me, the judgment of the Supreme Court, for me, Magnus Oraka, will tell whether I will stop ceasing to be a Nigeria or I will start believing in the Nigerian system. Because the truth is that that election was rubbish. That election they conducted was rubbish. And the judgment they delivered on the 6th of September, was rubbish. Complete rubbish. Wole Adepoju, I don't have time for all these Agbadorans. They are beginning. See, it's even better than those IPOB. Those IPOB, at least you know that some illiterate traders. Now them they come. But here you see somebody whose English is very beautiful. Wole Adepoju, I've blocked you. You see somebody whose English is very good. Just badgering on somebody's thread, and the first thing is he dishes out is you go pray tired because God is not God of sentiments. Who told you we are being sentimental? They give the impression that obedience are violent, obedient to attack, but the real people that are attacking are the Agbadorians are 3 times the violence that obedience have, if at all we have. Do you think if it was Agbadorians that they gave this ridiculous judgment on September, 6th of September, do you think the country would have been in peace? Are you going to compare the touts of Asar Dokubo and the obedience? So to me, the obedience are the most civilized but there's a limit to which we will remain civilized, Sha. That's just the truth. There's a limit to which we will remain civilized. We can't continue to be civilized at the expense of us just tolerating rubbish, and our mandate is stolen. We know it. Anyway, Sha, let me not say too much because this is social media. Make a match break. You get me? So the truth is that when you see me, it's because I'm even if I was crooked. If I was crooked, I know what I would have gained from this whole fiasco. So please, my phones are terribly bad. My phones are terrible. In fact, the other one, that one is a complete write-off. If I'm recording, it will be freezing. If I'm recording, it will be freezing. If you noticed, I have not been giving out too much recorded videos on my thread. And this is a very phone. I don't like using it because the camera quality is very. If you can notice now, the camera quality is very poor. But the other one is very, very sharp. But then it freezes. So it's better. That one is gone. It can receive call, but when it comes to this strenuous video exercise, it doesn't work. So I believe there's a fan out there that can say, okay, Magnus, let me give you a phone. You understand me? That's just it. I'm not saying bring money, I'll go invest and make money. So all those who come and look at my video and begin to create wrong aspersions about my personality, please don't do so. I'm just the person you see. Straightforward, simple, and I believe it's not for me to say, but I think I'm honest to a large extent. My name is Magnus Soraka, and I say please follow this page and share this post now. Thank you.